love is gone, that your love is gone.
Hand over the phone. A chill voice of a woman rang in the dead of the night. Now. She slowly sipped the champagne from the champagne flute as she waited patiently for a response. He doesn't want to speak. To you. The person on the other line spoke hesitantly. Kyle. She called him. No reply. I know that you are listening to this conversation right now. I don't care about anything else. You are going to be managing the company in the States from now onwards. If you are not going to work in the office starting from tomorrow, I will return back to the States and the consequences won't be favorable. For now, Kara, freeze all of his credit cards. Sister, please no. Finally, Kyle's panicked voice came on the line. I have had enough of you fooling around. You need to grow up, she said sternly. All right, fine. I will. I will go to the company, I promise. The boy replied obediently. No any tantrums now. Are you still going to freeze my credit cards? You have wasted half an hour of mine. For the next month, Kara will freeze your credit cards. Don't disappoint me, Kyle. If I hear you neglecting work from now onwards, I am going to freeze them forever. Please don't, he whined. Then, you have to earn yourself. I am still so young to manage a company. You are already 21 years old. Age isn't a barrier, Kyle. Kara is there to guide you. I know that you will do a good job. You have the potential. It's just that you get too lazy. Just return back to the US already. I won't be able to return this time. I will still come back once in a while, but now I have to focus here. Be good, Kyle. Okay, bye. She hung up the phone and she stared at her champagne flute for some more time before sipping it completely. I am finally back, she whispered. The sound of the people typing hastily on their keyboards prevailed in the large room. Some people were in a queue near the printing machine to print out papers. Some were using the coffee machine for a quick hot sip to relieve their headaches as they constantly checked their watch. Not good. Not good. The department head paced back and forth nervously. He wasn't the only one nervous. All the others in the room were at their wits' ends as well. She's arriving soon, a person said anxiously. She will personally review everything. You know what she does when she isn't satisfied with any work? The middle-aged man's eyebrows furrowed in exhaustion. We have been preparing for it for a week. What more can we do? A woman complained. Didn't you see what chaos she caused the last time she came? Another person added. Right, she burned all the papers down and even gave an hour lecture on how a workplace should be like and how the staff must work. Even my own mother has never scolded me like that. She is too intimidating. Absolutely scary. Yeah, I will be glad if she doesn't burn down the papers again. She should just send any other person to visit here. Why must she come and examine herself? I heard that she lives most of the time in the USA. Her company is one of the most successful companies there. But still, she comes every 2 months to Korea to check the condition here and gives us too much workload. I am just waiting for this week to be over so that she will be gone. Don't forget that this is the main industry. The others are just the Kim Industries branches in different countries. She has got a very scary personality. But must say that at the age of 25, she has made the USA branch one of the top companies all over the world. She was handed the company over when she was just 20. Very capable indeed. I only feel fear and respect when I see her. What a woman. Complete the work fast and stop gossiping, you gossip mongers, the head yelled, wiping the sweat off his forehead. A black car made its way down the streets at a fast pace. The driver seated in the front seat occasionally glanced at the back. Stop turning around, Kevin. You are irritating the life out of me, the woman said, massaging her temples. She peered at the middle-aged man who was driving the car through her long eyelashes. The man smiled and said, You are not in a good mood today, Miss Kiara. You always refer to me as Miss Kiara when I am acting like a bitch, and I know I am, Kiara said. Kiara, you just returned back to Korea yesterday. Why do you look so agitated? He asked. Nothing special. Mom's marrying her third husband next week. I don't know who the hell told her that I had returned back, and she has been pestering me relentlessly to attend her wedding," she said as she observed the surroundings that seemed to fade away quickly with the fast pace of the car. "And I don't know where the hell Dad is. He hasn't been picking up my calls." "Do you want to perhaps cancel the meeting today?" Kevin asked her. "No, I can't do that. Dad must be in one of his mansions downing a bottle of whiskey or whatever. Nothing worth mentioning." "You haven't slept a wink since 2 days." The man replied worriedly. "Oh, haven't I? Do you see any eye bags? I should have done that eye makeup heavier today," she muttered, shaking her head. The man merely laughed. "You have to worry about everyone but yourself. That's how life is, Kevin. Are you really firm about your decision? You have always liked living in the US. On top of that, you have successfully established the Kim Industries branch there as a top company. Are you just going to let it be handled by someone else? I know that Kyle doesn't seem like a person who can handle a company. But I know my younger brother well. He will be very serious when necessary. He will do a good job. Besides, I have to solve the problems in Korea. I have to manage the main company here. The work hasn't been satisfactory here." "I hope you achieve success in your endeavors," Kevin said, giving a gentle smile. "Thanks, Kevin." Kevin was the family driver of Kiara. He had been working for her family for more than 10 years and would be her chauffeur wherever she went while she was in Korea. She opened the car door and got off the car, taking out her sunglasses from her handbag. Putting it on slowly, she made her way towards the company, her heels clanking with each and every step. She was dressed in a white and black suit dress. Her hair was straightened and kept down. Black pencil heels added charm to the whole outfit, keeping it classy. A limited edition Chanel handbag hung on her wrist, and her whole look screamed nothing other than a boss lady. As she made her way inside the company, people stopped their work to stare at her. Finally, the lady about whom the whole company had been talking about since a week had arrived. They greeted her along the way, and she responded with a subtle nod. When she reached the reception desk, her secretary was waiting for her. "Good afternoon, Miss Kiara." The pretty secretary greeted her with a bright smile. "Good afternoon. Your name?" "Coral, and I will be assisting you as your secretary from now onwards. Your father has assigned me to you," she said. "Good. I believe it's time for the meeting now," she said while glancing at her watch. "Yes, ma'am." Kiara walked to the elevator while Coral followed her. After reaching the 20th floor, finally, the elevator dinged and they got out of it. While passing by one department, Kiara stopped when she heard someone speaking near the door. "Yes, babe. I'm coming home earlier," a woman spoke. "I don't need to ask for leave earlier. I can just make up something." She chuckled while checking her manicured nails while speaking. "That work? Don't remind me of it. I can just scrap it up at the last moment." Yeah. Kiara walked in front of that woman. The woman got startled, nearly dropping her mobile phone. "Hey, why are you showing up in front of others like a ghost?" she yelled. This woman must have been new to not know her. "Your position in the company?" she asked while removing her sunglasses. "Assistant manager in the human resource department." The woman squeaked out, suddenly looking afraid. "Coral." She turned towards her secretary. "Yes, ma'am?" "Publish a vacancy announcement for the post of assistant manager in tomorrow's newspaper." She gazed at the woman icily. "You are fired." Hey, what gives you the right to fire anyone?" the woman stammered nervously. "First offense, I caught you conversing when it wasn't a break time. The second offense, disregarding the company's rules related to proper work etiquette. Third offense, no responsibility to work. Because of these reasons, as the vice president of the company, I think I do have the privilege to fire an employee who slacks off." The color of the woman's face drained and she trembled in fear. "Ma'am, I'm sorry. Please don't fire me." Without speaking anything more and shutting down the pleas, Kiara walked to her office to be ready for the meeting. "What? She already fired an employee?" a shocked voice asked. "Jesus, she hasn't been in the company for more than 10 minutes and has already fired a staff," another voice added. Around 40 staffs were seated around a long table. The board of directors were also present for the meeting today. They patiently waited for her to arrive as they gossiped among each other. After a while, finally, the glass door slid open and Kiara walked inside the room. Everyone stood up from their seat as a sign of respect towards her. "Good afternoon. Please have your seats, everyone," she said in a composed manner. Silence settled down in the conference hall as she stood at the head of the table. "Thank you for assembling here to meet me for an important announcement, though it was a short notice." She began to speak. The woman in front of them held a frosty gaze and her moves were classy and smooth. She spoke eloquently and articulately. Her hair was tied up in an updo with the strands framing her face. Her sharp hazel eyes looked like they could unfurl the secrets behind each and every one, assessing their each and every moves. Her demeanor described nothing other than classy, sharp and cold. That's why one couldn't help but feel their heart become cold out of fear when her gaze was on them. "Miss Kiara, the copy of the documents." Her secretary, Coral, handed the files to her. She nodded and took them. "We are certainly curious to hear about this announcement," a person said. Everyone listened attentively. "I have discussed about this many times with my father, the president of the Kim Industries, and we have reached to a conclusion that he is going to let me take over the main company here as the vice president. My father will not be attending meetings other than some which are extremely crucial, and all the other executive tasks are to be handled by me. Regarding the branch in the US, my cousin brother Kyle will be handling things there. I look forward to working with everyone. I hope you will live up to my expectations." Everyone's eyes widened. Everything being inspected by her every 2 months was one thing. But every day, that would be hell. The head manager forced a smile and said, "We warmly welcome Miss Kiara. Our company will certainly soar to new heights under your guidance." "Thank you, Mr. Choi," Kiara told. Before she could speak anything more, an older director butted in. "I am afraid that we might encounter some problems, Miss Kiara," he said. "And why is that?" "Mr. Zhang," she said nonchalantly. She knew that the older shareholders and some members from the board of directors won't be too keen on letting her take over the company since they had their own rigid values and opinions. But she needed to put up with them. "You are too young to handle a company," he said while stroking his beard. "Mr. Zhang, I believe in my capabilities. I have perfectly managed our branch in the States before. The result is crystal clear for you to see. What makes you think that I can't handle this company? It's the main company. That's why we can't risk any mistakes." Another man intervened. "Huh, have you seen the sale history of our company here this time? Nothing has been done. No improvement at all. The president has been worried because of this condition and hence, he has asked me to take over. But you are just a 25-year-old young girl. What experience do you have? Yes, you performed well in the States, but we can't be sure that same would happen in Korea. We can't risk our shares," another man said. "Everyone, please calm down," a gentle voice said. Kiara saw the face of the man as he stood up. He was one of the directors of the Kim Industries. His name was Eric, she remembered. The guy was in his early 30s. "Mr. Eric, what opinion do you have?" the man asked him. "I have a solution which can pacify the situation here," he said. "Please go ahead," Kiara said. "Miss Kiara, what our shareholders want is a sense of security. They are just asking you to prove yourself. If you are able to achieve something great, there won't be a problem in letting you take over the company," he said pleasantly. She nodded, pondering over the situation. "Miss Kiara has extraordinary abilities in business. No one can deny that. She will surely be able to prove us with a highly profiting product. We have a new project coming along as well. It's in its final stages. We can judge by how Miss Kiara can turn this project into a success," he said. The others in the room agreed immediately. "This is actually a good idea," they murmured. Kiara couldn't miss the smug faces of the other people. A cold smile made its way to her lips. "Underestimate me. That'll be fun," she whispered to herself. "All right, I accept the challenge. I will make sure that this project will be the most successful one our company has ever had. You have my word. If I don't manage to do it, I will quit," she said confidently. "I hope you will be successful, Miss Kiara," Eric said. "Thanks." They have the audacity to do that, Coral said furiously. Judging by the last hours she had spent with Coral, Kiara could say that she can't control her tongue and speaks anything. She flipped through the pages as she sat down on the chair in her office. Miss Kiara, you don't have to prove them anything. Everyone knows how successful you are and how you alone turned the branch in the US as one of the top companies in the country. I don't know why they are so stubborn on this idea, she said. Of course, I also wouldn't like that idea, Kiara said while her eyes roamed around the contents of the file. What? Coral looked at Kiara in confusion. I mean, would you also want someone to be your superior who is half your age and has already achieved more than you? It hurts your ego, don't you think? She replied in a relaxed manner. Coral just gaped at her. Now, please stop thinking that I am a pompous person, though I definitely sound like one right now. Kiara gave a small smile and Coral laughed. You are definitely cooler than all the other bosses I have had, Coral said. I'm flattered. So, this new project is a perfume project, I see. Yes, the production stage is already over. We need to settle down on the brand name, brand ambassador, promotion activities, and so on. I see. Bring me the brand names they have suggested and the copies of potential ambassadors. We don't have much time. Each and every second is crucial, she said. Yes, I will go and bring the files. Coral, also schedule a meeting for the project the day after tomorrow. We can get some opinions during that time. Sure, ma'am, she said and left while Kiara didn't waste a second and started doing the research on the work. After the day's tiresome work, Kiara finally threw her tired body on the car seat. Today was so hagglesome. She had to talk with everyone and know their opinions. Most of the shareholders were not in her favor because they had the same point of view that she was too young to take over the company. She needed to work on this, otherwise her position was in danger. Her phone rang loudly and a part of her wanted to slam it on the floor. But she fumbled through her purse and took it out. The caller was her mom. She wanted to roll her eyes. Nonetheless, she picked it up. Hello, Mrs. Soon-to-be Smith, she said. Her mom had successfully managed to snag a foreigner named David Smith this time. Her mom's chuckle came from the next line. Did you seriously have to get married when I just arrived in Korea? Couldn't you have done it earlier? She said, looking outside the car. Kiara, how have you been? Glad that you still remember my name, Mom. Never been better. How about you? Ready to settle down once again? Kiara, don't hold a grudge against me. I still love you a lot, she said. She really wanted to ask what kind of love she loved her because honestly, Kiara had already forgotten if her mom had ever loved her. If she had, she wouldn't have abandoned her alone when she was just 14 years old. Her dad had a hard time bringing her up. With no mother to take care of her, Kiara was taken to her dad's company every day after school. She would finish her homework there. Her dad would be too busy with his work. He would be inside his office all day and night. She would sleep on a couch when it would become too late. They would share a few words with each other when they would order takeouts and have dinner. From then on, her fascination towards business grew. She wanted to be strong like her dad, who was doing fine without her mom. An independent person who isn't affected by anything. So, here she was. I know you do. I love you too, Mom, she said sarcastically. Kiara had talked with her mother just a few times when she was overseas. She wasn't exactly fond of her mom. A part of her was still angry at her for leaving back then. So, how long is this going to last? Kiara asked. She knew that she was being a bitch, but she couldn't care less. I am really serious about David. I think I have finally found the man I love wholeheartedly. Good for you, she said. I hope you will have a successful wedding. Kiara, I want you to be present on the wedding day, her mom said hesitantly. She let out a low chuckle. Mom, have I ever attended any of your weddings? I am sorry I can't attend. I have lots of work to do. Just this once, Kiara. It's been so long since I've last seen you. I want to see you. But I don't want to see you. Yeah, it's been 5 years since I've last seen you. But I don't want to see you. She wanted to tell that, but she didn't want to ruin her happy mood. At least one of them could be happy. I am sorry, I can't. You see, I'm still my dad's daughter. Convey my regards to your new husband. I hope he takes care of you well. Goodbye, Mom. Kiara, I knew you would say no. Please consider it once again. If you agree, attend the rehearsal dinner next Friday. The wedding's going to be on Saturday. Not interested, she said and hung up. Taking a deep breath, she threw the phone on the car seat. Kevin was driving the car. She knew he had heard everything. What was there to hide anyways? Her pathetic family life wasn't exactly good news anyways. The car passed through the ring road. She observed the expensive brand stores whose signs lit up in various colors: Gucci, Versace, Christian Louboutin, Armani, and many more. Want to go and shop? Kevin asked as he tapped the steering wheel while they were waiting for the traffic sign to turn green. No, Kevin. Too tired today, she muttered. As the sign finally flashed a green light, the car again started, and she wondered looking out of the car. Why don't they sell love in these stores as well?